you thinking about moving to Georgia or relocating from a different state? In today's video, it's 2024, an election year. This is what you need to know before moving to Georgia. Metro Atlanta is not the haven for cheaper urban and suburban real estate as it once was over a decade ago. But migration to migration flow from state to state, there is still plenty of room in Georgia. In 2022, people leaving and people coming, they kind of balance each other out. We actually netted around 74,000 people, which actually isn't that many people in the grand scheme of things. These relocation numbers are not slowing down in the least bit. And if you're watching this video, you've either just moved to Georgia or you're thinking about moving to Georgia. Here at Goad Home Partners, we're looking out for you to be set up for success for your move to the great state of Georgia. My name is Greg Goad. I am a local real estate expert in the greater Atlanta metro area, helping people relocate to Atlanta and move across Atlanta to different suburbs, different urban communities, and the such. Today, we're going to address what you need to know before moving to Georgia and what is going to affect you in everyday life. Let's start with a few unique things about Georgia that you're not normally going to know if you come across on a casual search. Let's get into it. And this may be one of the #1 best kept secrets about Georgia, its unique outdoor scene and outdoor recreation. Here in Georgia, we have a little bit of everything, starting from the North Georgia mountains, just below North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. You've got Springer Mountain, which is a trailhead for the Appalachian Trail that takes you all the way to Maine. You've got Ellijay, which is the mountain bike capital of Georgia. And we have plenty of streams that are stocked with trout, delayed harvest. If you don't know what delayed harvest is, that means they actually have a hatchery where they actually hatch trout and then they actually pump them into the streams multiple times a year throughout the year. And then plenty of lakes for boating fun, whether you are a ski boater person, wakeboarding person, or paddle boarding or kayaking, any of that such. You have plenty to choose from. And as you work to the middle of the state, you have some historic parks such as Stone Mountain and Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield. Then you have the Chattahoochee that runs right through the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. And fun fact, there are 17 national recreational areas along the Chattahoochee, right in the heart of Atlanta. Even when you enter the city of Atlanta, it's called the Green City. And we actually did a whole video on why Atlanta is called the Green City, but a little short tidbit. All the big, massive parks that you can bike, hike, run, hang out with the family all across the Atlanta area. Then you've got the Beltline, which is an old trainway in the metro city of Atlanta, Georgia, that has been converted to a walking trail and all kinds of rehabilitative projects along the way for real estate, retail, and all the things. Let's not forget the coast, starting at Savannah, Georgia, going down to St. Simons and even Cumberland, Georgia. These are all great fisheries and coastal port towns. Cumberland Island is actually a national seashore and national park, and it's actually the size of Manhattan. Everybody's got to eat. Let's talk about the food scene. Georgia is not super well known for their food, but it's a growing aspect that is getting a lot of traction in national media. The food source is happening right here. From inside the city, there has been some huge investors investing in certain gentrified neighborhoods that are putting a ton of money into the retail and food scene, and I'm super excited to share more about that. We did a whole video about that. Check out the link in the description below. Last year, we actually had the first round of Michelin graded restaurants come to our area, and I know I'm excited about that, and you should be too. Each city throughout Georgia has its special flavored twist. We have places inside the perimeter in Atlanta like the Croc City Market, which has all kinds of different flavors of food for everybody. Then you've also got Ponce City Market, which is also along the Beltline. You can actually grab a coffee at Krog Market and ride your bike to have lunch at Ponce. Then you've got barbecue. Let's talk barbecue. I absolutely love smoked barbecue. So places up in Canton like 441 South, one of our favorite places by Kevin Ward, pit smoked from pit to table. Then you've got inner city barbecue like Fat Matt's. You've got Fox Brothers and Doss Barbecue. Let's not forget the international cuisine. Buford Highway hosts some of the most amazing international spots. Authentic Chinese food, authentic Hispanic food, authentic Indian food, authentic any kind of international flavor you could possibly imagine. Let's talk Southern hospitality. That was a great album that Ludacris put out many moons ago. Cadillac wheels and Cadillac frills, all that kind of fun stuff. That is nothing to sneeze at. The Southern hospitality is a real thing that you will experience in the greater Atlanta area and throughout the state. I've lived inside the perimeter in the metro Atlanta area, growing up in Augusta, knowing what we do here best, and it's yes ma'am, yes sir, no ma'am, yes sir, and all the things. As we shift into some of the basics of geography to know about Georgia, here in the great metro Atlanta area, we've got what you call ITP and OTP. And what that means is inside the perimeter and outside the perimeter. And what is the perimeter exactly? That is the Highway 285. It is a border interstate that goes around the city of Atlanta and all its bordering towns. So if you're living inside the perimeter, it's more of an urban feel. We've got MARTA, public transportation. There's a lot more public arts. There's a lot more public events, a lot more big buildings. Very urban, but still has that southern charm. And then OTP is more suburban sprawl, really build the real estate area out. Like we've got places like Amazon building 200,000 square foot facilities in these suburban towns. So we did an entire video on pros and cons of moving to Georgia. Check out the link in the description below if you want to dive deeper into that. But let's not forget the coastal towns in the deeper south and middle Georgia. Most of that is relocation to the greater Atlanta area, but some of these other towns have a very country, rural vibe coming to them. Then you've got places like Warner Robins that has an Air Force base, and then the coastal towns like Savannah, one of the oldest towns in the country, really puts a spin on what we have available here. Let's talk transportation and commuting. In the city of Atlanta, Georgia, you've got what they call MARTA. That is our public rail system and bus system, but it only services inside the perimeter and just a little bit outside the perimeter up towards Alpharetta into Sandy Springs. So you're gonna need a car. And if you live in one of these sprawling suburban areas, you better know that commute is gonna hurt just a little bit. You better queue up your podcast. You better find whatever music you're gonna jam to because you're gonna be chilling. Let's talk airports. Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is the biggest hub for international flights and domestic flights in the southeast. So let's talk about that just for a second. As a local real estate expert, I just had this experience. I helped a client relocate from Utah to Atlanta, Georgia. One, they were looking for jobs in Atlanta because they are both from South Africa. So what that means is they can hop on a plane in Atlanta and it is the quickest point from Atlanta to South Africa. Boom, just like that. And that's a reality here in the greater Atlanta metro area, is being close to that hub to be able to hop on a plane and go anywhere, having direct flights in places where this is a home base for Delta and their big corporation. Job market and outlook. Atlanta is very well rounded as it comes to growing industries such as the movie industry and Fortune 500 companies and tech startup companies. We have a wide range of everything coming to and in Atlanta, Georgia. And you got to look out for those entrepreneurial spirits because there is a bunch of small businesses here grown locally. Just to give you an idea, here are the top 5 largest companies employing people in the state of Georgia. Starting at the top spot, employing over 500,000 people, is the Home Depot. Then you've got UPS, DHL, Delta. Then you've got the Coca-Cola Company. You've got the Atlanta Tech Village hosting over 600 startup companies with the entrepreneurial spirit. Then you've got Georgia Tech, a local university in Midtown Atlanta, feeding that tech industry. As always, my name is Greg Goad at Goad Home Partners at Real Broker, your local real estate expert moving to and around Atlanta, Georgia. I hope today was helpful. If there's anything you think I missed or anything you're curious about, drop me a comment below. And as always, peace.